Okay, those are Coco's apartment, a Trestless, and it says Avenue E. Let's see if we can zoom in. Avenue E, and where's the other one? Let's go. And Douglas. Let's see, behind that tree. Oh, there you go. And Dooley's, D-U-L-L-S. And that's her apartment. So I decided I'm going to take a walk. This is why I tell you I'm going to go for a walk. I've been down that way, there's nothing here. So now I'm going the opposite way. And let's zoom back out. As you can see over here, that's where I'm walking. So there's a whole big land across the street. But I can't even go walking over here and do anything else in here. And then at nighttime, right about 5 o'clock, it looks like it's void. Void meaning midnight. Like it's so jet black around here, you can't see nothing because you can see, look, there's no street lights. And so it is just like jet black. So beyond 5, I really can't go walking. Before 5, they have their sun blazing, that beam blazing so hot, about 300 degrees. It just feel like a pinpoint. Like you got a laser ink pen just blazing in one spot. So that's what that feels like. And so again, here this is this little bayou or river, whatever it is. So we're going to continue to walk. And I'll show you the other side. That's the other side of the street, pretty much the same. And we're going to continue to walk. As you see, I'm walking. There's no sidewalks. I have to walk on grass. Now I'm coming up on those little dividers, and then I'm going to have to walk in the streets. And I want you to pay attention to how close this brown truck is coming up on that curb. So then I'm going to have to walk on the streets now. And so here you have, this is the other land here. I wonder, I thought to go walking, like go all the way down and turn around and use this for a walking trail or a running trail. But I don't know exactly how far it goes down. So maybe I'll try it someday and go all the way down and see if it'll just come in a complete circle. But as you can see right here, this is another one. One of those little miniature bayous or rivers, whatever you call these little things, sewers. So I'm gonna continue to walk. Hopefully I can hurry up and get past this here divider before other cars start coming my way, because there's really nowhere for me to walk. And that's what Vegas, you see these houses have these walls up. So it's really nowhere to walk. And at night, it's really unsafe to walk beyond these points at 5, 6 in the evening. There's no city buses, so I cannot work or get to work or any of that. So I need transportation. That's what I'm getting at. This is coming through here. 5 o'clock, it's like so black. It's like you could go in your closet and shut the door with the lights off. That's how black it is around here. Nobody would ever hear you because of these walls. There's no sidewalks. So this one has like a little curve. And I'm gonna come through here. This is a little small sidewalk that has a little curve. Now, I don't know where this is going to take me, but there is a street about a mile up the road called Highway 6 where a lot of businesses are. Most businesses in the area, when I go look for work, they're going to make the prices. I'm only looking for, when I say work, it's just to go in business for myself, a booth rental, chair, salon situation. Most of those are already a warrant. They're not gonna let me work in. I tried this already in Dallas. If you watch some of my prior or previous videos. Now, why so much happening to you, Samaya? Somebody desire my intellectual property. The Department of Justice sent me a list of everybody that's using my intellectual property or that motion to use my intellectual property. One of them was Barack. They called him the government. 2009, that's Barack. One was Loretta Lynch, the black attorney general. This is what the Department of National Security sent me from the Department of Justice. Of everybody who motioned to use my intellectual property. That means to share, tap into my brain cells. That means for all those who wish to steal my ideas before, that's what Barack called it, that brain initiative, to steal my ideas before I can even write them on paper. That's what that brain initiative is all about. Go to my Facebook page or either just type in Barack Obama's brain initiative program. And he talks to all these white scientists, and he wants the white scientists to get into the heads of some of the brightest black people. He didn't say black, I threw that in there, but getting into the heads of some of the brightest minds. And my IQ has already been established, me and my daughters, to be amongst some of those high IQ minds. Because Mother Nature wouldn't have dealt me this hand. Mother Nature laws are karma. Mother Nature law says you do unto others as you want them to do unto you. Mother Nature is you don't hurt no individual. Mother Nature is you plant the seeds and it harvests. It harvests for you. That's Mother Nature. Now, Mother Nature is I dotted every I and I crossed every T. That means I play strictly by America's rules and their laws. Although they promote me as an alien, which means I have the highest sovereignty, the only freed individual on planet Earth. But yeah, I still play by all their laws. When the last time I checked my criminal background check, there was nothing to check. There was nothing there. And the last time being 2019. But yet, government at the time, which was Barack from 9 to present, has been attacking me for no reason. I'm just trying to work and get into my house. I worked up to 24 hours every day of my life. Well, a good 80% of my life, I worked up to 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I raised some beautiful young ladies, some beautiful girls I raised. One that went off to college, she became somebody I don't know when she left to go off to college. I don't know her anymore. I don't know who she is or what she is. I don't even know most days where she is. She don't even call me. She put on Facebook before all this happened that she loves her mother more than anything on planet Earth. And that was probably 12 or 13. But yet, she cannot call me. Some say she's forced into a government test site where government doing all this here old DNA corruption, mixing humans and animals together, whatever government does at their test sites, being that she went to school to be a doctor. She went to school just to be an old-fashioned doctor, a family practice, just taking your temperatures and prescribing you some antibiotics. That's what she went to school for. But yet, Barack wrote her a letter, 2009, before she was even 18 years old. He wrote her a letter and gave her an inaugural graduation. Before she was 18, he did all of this. Congress started contacting her before she was even 18 years old. They had no right to use my baby, to force her into anything. The government had no effing right to force my child to do anything, especially under the age of 18. They should have contacted me. But I have all those letters that the Congress, the House of Representatives, Barack, all these senatorial, all these people wrote her a letter when she was under 18. All that stuff that she signed up for in Spelman, she was under 18. I didn't sign not one document, not one. I did not sign. She went to college under 18. She went to college under 18 because her mama groomed her, fashioned her, and invested in my child. My baby went to college under 18 because I put her in a kindergarten at 4 years old instead of 6. Her birthday in September. I paid cash money for her education. So I'm just assuming or thinking that maybe my life has taken a turn for the worse because he kidnapped my child or something. I don't know, or stole her identity, or using her for something. I'm assuming that. I have no answers because the judge told me if I take my case to court, they were gonna lock me up. Judge Hoffengene at the North Las Vegas Municipal Court told me if I take my court to trial, he's gonna lock me up just for doing so. So I'm not sure what's going on with me. Everybody knows I do not have an addiction. I do not overspend, but I shouldn't say overspend, but trick off money. I make every dime count is what I'm saying. I don't gamble. And there have been times I have went into the casinos and maybe spent 20, 30, even if I spend $40, we talking about maybe once a year, once every 2-3 years. When a new person, when a visitor may come to Las Vegas and I want to show them around or something like that, my feelings is hurt if I lose $20. I don't gamble. So in that light, I say I don't gamble. So I don't trick off money. I don't smoke, drink, or do drugs, or do none of this. Never had a street fight. So why is karma paying me such a bad judgment? Why, not karma, Mother Nature, I mean, why is Mother Nature dealing me such a bad hand? Well, I say it's not Mother Nature. Somebody took an interest in my life and using my daughter as a means to hold me back. Somebody, because I say, okay, you want to use the government, maybe she on some CIA project, okay, we'll keep her. But what they got to do with my life? What they got to do with my life? Just say, hypothetically say, she was forced to work in some government test site. Okay, what that has to do with me and my business and my life? Because we was doing just fine. It's just like one day I'm at work and then the next day, all this stuff started happening in my shop. I was doing just fine. Government built a big old huge tower outside the back of my salon. A government, like a communication tower. In 14, I got a letter from the family saying they gonna transition Michelle Obama. They ain't say Obama, let me take that back. But they was gonna transition Michelle to the treasurer and transitioning Michelle. Now the family that sent me the letter are very close and good friends with Barack. So I can only assume they was talking about Michelle Obama because they sent out a group text message, and I guess that maybe they didn't mean to send it to me, or perhaps maybe didn't think I would understand what was happening. So but I do have the letter from the Lawsons that said that they were talking about something about transitioning Michelle, and it just so happened to be that she looked like she stole my identity. That was in 14. So I'm saying, could this be the reason why the government has such an interest in me and my children? Michelle want to pass her life off as Samaya, so you need my child to be your child or something? Could that be it? Because I'm not sure what's happening and what's going on here in America and why all the white folks in Congress protected me. Now that house this year is 21 years for me. 21 years in the house. They waited just as good until I paid off that pool. I've always been very strong, solid-minded. I don't ruin my reputation, and I know some people are now with the intellectual property theft are going after those who have good reputation. So that could be an issue too. So I don't ruin my reputation. I was working hard to try to get that Nobel Peace Prize in, but I gave myself some time, a long-term goal. So I knew the importance of not hanging in certain circles. I knew the importance of not being around so-called bad people, maybe drug dealers or prostitutes or pimps or thieves or whatever. So with that, by me trying to keep a reputation, sometimes I had to deprive myself of certain fun, entertainment, because of being involved or being around the wrong people at the wrong time. So I sheltered my own self. I sheltered myself just so I can have a very a wealthy lifestyle in the future. I planned it. I invested in my business. I invested all my money in my business and my babies. And now today, they just a blatant evil just took my truck. took my house, took my beds, took everything. Now today I walk these streets of Houston. I'm forced to be here. They provide one window of opportunity. Now, this is the same state where my folks, the Lawson, that transition Michelle owns the state. That's what they think. So they forced Coco to move out here, forced my life to be messed up, then make her live with her daughter. Now her daughter forcing her out the house for no reason, no arguments, no nothing. Good days, loving daughter, everything. She wants me to go get a job. I've been here a year, she said, and she wants me to go get a job. She wants me to go get a job, but she won't take me to go get a job. She wants me to go get a job, but I can't use her truck. She wants me to go get a job, but if I ask to take me around and go see the city, gas costs too much. So she wants me to go get a job. Okay, now I'm showing you, this is why I'm showing you the neighborhood. No buses run this way. This is what we see. We walked around Walgreens. Got something on that corner, gas station here, another gas station here. So she wants me to go and get a job. Okay, so let's walk. Let's go get a job. Now, mind you, we dealing with government. I can't compete with their technology. I've been trying my best to promote hair. I'm excellent at my craft. I love doing hair. I've been doing hair since the day I took my first step with baby dolls. So I love doing hair, and I'm really good. Matter of fact, I insured my hands through New York Life Insurance for $1 million. My policy was on $1 million. Part term, though, and part whole life. Because the insurance agency said to me, if, say, for instance, if something happened to your hands, you can borrow from this policy, she told me. So in that light, I insured these hands for $1 million. That's how good I am. I was groomed to be a competition hairstylist in the 11th grade. I won. You can go look through St. Louis Post-Dispatch newspaper. 1985, it says, my last name was Hoffman, Hoffman, Samaya, Sumay. She says, Samaya Hoffman, West County Tech magnet student, wins first place in the hair competition. So I've been doing this all my life. What I'm saying is, I have no reason to just all of a sudden change. I have nothing to make me all of a sudden change. I'm happy being single. I had more men after me than I could even date them. Matter of fact, I didn't even want to date at that time. I told them I don't want that. I told everybody pretty much no. But I had a friend, or maybe two friends with benefits. That means every now and then, if I decide that I need some relations, y'all get my point. If I decide I wanted some relations, I can call on a friend or two. I had that kind of stuff. Well, I had to do it that way because I didn't want, men are sometimes clingy, and I didn't want a relationship. I understood, I know my value. I didn't want nobody to be clinging to me. Baby, why you working so late? Baby, why you can't come home? Baby, why you taking this here trip to go to that beauty show? Baby, why you doing? No, I don't need all the baby wives. I was happy being single, and I can make my own moves on my own by myself. I didn't want to have to answer to, baby, you ain't cooked me nothing dinner. You came in too late from the beauty shop. Well, you knew when you met my motherfucking ass, I was working 18 hours, 19 hours, 20 hours when you met me. And so my thing is, and what I told my babies is that when you want to get somewhere in life, when you want to go somewhere in life, that sometimes you may have to put especially if you have not started one, you may want to put relationships on hold until you get until you get out of life what you want. So sometimes that may mean being celibate for a minute. But you've only celibate just because so you can get where you have to go. Because I often told my daughters that men are dream stealers and killers. Men are dream stealers and killers. What I mean by that, a man with all his old insecurities will bring you down before you can even pursue your goals. With all of their, baby, I just want you to be with me, baby. I don't want you to go out. I just want this, I just want that. Why you gotta be around your friends? Why you gotta go to Stafford school this late? Why? And then or keep you, what the old folks say, barefoot and pregnant. Keep you barefoot and pregnant. So, in other words, fuck up your shape, your figure, so don't nobody else want you. Pump you up with about 5-10 kids, so don't nobody else want you. And your whole life then went down the drain. And so, again, that's why I am single. So I'm comfortable. I just got out of divorce. So my 40s, or my 40 was my new 21. I think that's a good number for 40 to be your new 21. And so my 40 was my new 21. I'm divorced, I'm single, I'm feeling myself. I learned a lot from the past marriage, the relationship. I don't bash it or talk ill about it, but I did learn from, we did grow apart. I'm kind of happy for the experience. And I wouldn't trade it for nothing in the world. The guy was a good guy, but of course, when relationship go bad, we sometimes often see the other side of people when the relationship goes sour. But later on in life, we both matured. We had a better relationship because we creeped a couple of times after we matured. So if this hadn't happened to me in 14, I think the last time we may have crept was in maybe 12 or something like that. And what I mean by, adult kind of fun we had when we get together, we can with an understanding. I understand he may have had somebody else in his hometown because we had to travel. He may have had a woman there. And I understand that. I'm hoping that, and I know he's no fool. He understands I may be doing my thing too in Las Vegas. But when we come together, we had a mutual agreement and we still had sexual relations. So the last time, again, I was there with Gregory Hodges in Arkansas. Little Rock, Arkansas. I could tell he was still somewhat proud. He's administrator. He's a government employee, administrator of a school. That means he runs the entire school. Sometimes he's a the assistant principal, or either the main principal. Basically, both of those are just, you are an administrator of the school. Administrator means an organization of the government. So he is a principal of a high school. Now the school that he was at was I think it was Leland, Leland, Leland. When I went there, and he's 10 years older than me, by the way. But when I went there, I could tell he was so proud. He introduced me to all of his staff. Not only did he introduce me to the staff, he had me to get up on stage, and we had the kids in the auditorium so I can motivate and inspire those children that was at that high school in the auditorium. And I'm so glad he did. It was a great experience. He did not introduce me as his wife. He introduced me as Samaya Hodges. And so working with young adults, they were young kids, I should say youth, they were like 9th, 10th, and 11th graders. When he introduced me as Samaya Hodges, kids, they can be real silly and funny sometimes. They said, wait a minute, your name is Hodges and his name Gregory Hodges and you Samaya Hodges? They say, are y'all related? Is that your brother? Y'all related? And so the little phrase that was out at the time, I used it because I'm 10 years younger. I'm more a little bit hip hopper because I work in a beauty salon and I deal with all ages, from seniors all the way down to elementary school. Everybody need their hair done. So I know all the little hip hop slang stuff out there. So I said that to say, when they say, is that your brother? Some of y'all related? I said, no, that's my baby daddy, because that was the new phrase that was out there. No, that was my baby daddy. Well, when I said that, those kids at auditorium, they all went up in stitches. Now, stitches, for you who don't know what that is, sometimes they laugh so hard, they break through the skin. They need stitches. So they was laughing. They was hilarious. They was pounding on the tables and stomping their feet. And, oh, Mr. Hodges got a baby daddy, baby. I mean, a baby mama. Now, if you understand Mr. Hodges, he's like, and he probably gonna kill me for saying all this on air because I'm sure gonna upload it on YouTube. And so, if you know Mr. Hodges, you know he is that Joe Clark kind of, sort of speak, from the movie Lean on Me. He's a kind of real no nonsense kind of guy. A teacher. He no nonsense, but he wished the best for every last one of those students. And he's just doing it his way, but his years of teaching or being around the youth has, he's learned a lot. He know how to deal with these here individuals, these students. And now he's at a school where these are kind of like challenged kids. I like to call them misunderstood youth instead of behavior kind, but misunderstood youth. And so now he's at that school. And so you can see why he's the type that kind of like barely will crack a smile and don't really like get too familiar or friendly with these students. He just there to do his job, sort of like the Joe Clark from Lean on Me. And so when I said, here I come, I'm just opposite. And so here I come. They said, y'all related? You all got the same last name. Are you related? And I said, no, that's my baby daddy. Boy, they was laughing so hard because that's my baby daddy. They were laughing like so hard, hysterically laughing, and they was bound hitting on the tables and kicking their feet and making all this noise. Oh, Mr. Hodges got a baby mama. Oh, Mr. Hodges, because they didn't think he could be hip or cool, especially when I use that phrase, baby mama. They said, Mr. Hodges, you got a baby mama, Mr. Hodges. So it was really kind of funny, and I know I kind of got off track with that, but I had to just throw that in there and give him some kudos. So, but nevertheless, although we have grown apart and we kind of went our separate ways, there was still a little flame there could be ignited. I personally thought it would have been kind of reunited at some future time. I kind of personally thought that, but because I was 10 years younger and because I was I felt like I was just being set free. So now I'm in Las Vegas. I relocated to Las Vegas. I'm just being set free. And surely, I didn't really wasn't ready for no relationship. And all the guys got me thinking I'm cute. So surely, and I'm sorry, I'm looking at this beauty shop. Remember we were walking, look for beauty shops? So hair fitness, I want to remember that one. Oh, here's the number right here. Because I'm going to call this lady. Let's see what she says. But even if I call the lady, where am I going to get clients from if they're blocking my social media? If they're blocking my cell phone calls? How am I going to get customers? I know how to advertise. I'm a guru with that. But nowadays, they use social media. And I definitely need a phone. So if you rerouting all of my phone calls, and that's another thing. More than 6,000 people have this number and had the old number before they took it. That number was 21 years plus 2. You've just recently taken from me last month a 21-year-old phone number, 702-860-0508. AT&T, they just took it, the phone number. Anybody can pay it. It's with AT&T, 702-860-0508. Changed the password, but it could still be the same. 10/13/1965. Put it up on YouTube once before. Anybody feel compelled, you can pay for that number. Definitely preserve it. It is 21 years old number. And so, again, so I know I started this and I'm going to stop it in a minute because where am I at now? About 29 minutes. 29 minutes. That's good. That's not bad. I have went an hour. So it's not bad. And so, me feeling myself in Las Vegas, certainly, and just getting over a divorce, I'm just trying to have a little fun every blue moon, every once in a while, but very driven and very focused. So when I said I have friends with benefits, that means maybe I'm the most deprived one sexually, to be honest with you. But I was okay with that because I'm doing it to myself. Because I had just lost my mom. I'm very vulnerable. I had put myself on a celibate fast from 2007 to 2010. But it was good for me because I'm learning. I wanted to just be focused on my business and my kids. I came there with a plan, and I'm trying to, and even though life throw you a curveball, as for my mom's death, life sometimes throws us a curveball. And so, but I still had to find a way to get back on track once I got done grieving. And that was a big pill to swallow. But I still had to try to get back on track with them. And I did. I named the place Granny's because that's what I nicknamed my mom, Granny. But I spelled it different, G-R-A-N, capital N, Z, instead of a Y, apostrophe S. Granny's Beauty Center. And it's LLC and Inc. So I did that. And that kind of gave me a little bit more courage, motivation, inspiration to push forward. And I did just that. I pushed forward. And now I put every ounce of energy in me, I put it in that business. 2014, my life just kind of spiraled out of control. Now I have no addictions, no reason for it spiraled out of control. All my family live out of state. I got over her grieving. We was kicking butts and taking numbers with that beauty shop. When I go to work, I have 20, 30 clients lined up at the door waiting on me. So if I wanted to grieve, I didn't have a chance. I'm not depressed, I'm not stressed. My family has never, they always been my family, but you gotta remember, I lived in Las Vegas 21 years by myself. Not one came to stay with me, or visit with us, vacation with us. So if they, so there's no, what I'm trying to say, there's no depression, there's no grieving, there's no addictions, there's no nothing. So why would my life just take the turn for the worse? I'm stronger today than I was when I was working. But I did have a chain of salons, is what I didn't tell you. I had 3 shops simultaneously. Granny's had her own franchise. Granny has her own franchise attorney. But somebody came in and wanted to borrow, use, or steal, rob me of that perfect reputation. That perfect business reputation. Somebody wanted to come in and rob me of that. I wonder why, and why is Congress supporting it? My case at the circuit court involves Barack, Hillary, Trina, and Catherine Cortez. So why are all these people supporting the theft of my intellectual property? Now, I'm not guessing at that. Go on my Facebook page. The Department of Justice sent me all of those who have petitioned the courts to use my intellectual properties. If you know anything about law and absolute rights and inalienable rights and sovereignty, you know that that is one right that not even a court can give it to anyone. That is one right that not even a judge can give to Barack, not even a president can take. That is one, that's why they call it an absolute right. That's your absolute property right. That's guaranteed. If you don't have no other right, that was guaranteed. So Michelle, Barack, Hillary, whomever it may be, that's one right that if they are taking it, that would be the reason for all of them conspiring against me. That would be the reason for America not wanting to give me justice. That would be the reason for them depriving me of stimulus checks, of my income taxes. Every year I file them, I give money back, but I never get them back. I'm supposed to get money back, but they never give them to me. That'd be the reason why I was approved for unemployment twice, and they won't give it to me. That would be the reason for every other dime that I may have gotten or people want to give me or being blocked. My friend called me the other day and says, Princess Crawford called me the other day, asked me for my phone number so she could pay the bill. She called me. Now, I didn't call her. She called me wanting to pay my bill. And she was going to send me a few $1,000s. Now I can't get her to call me back. Mind you, Samaya, give me your account number. Give me your access code number. I'm going to pay your phone bill for you. But we had a few chats prior to that, and she had no problems with giving me a few $1,000s. Matter of fact, I can send you a text, and she volunteered for me to come to Atlanta all this hero kind of stuff. So she wanted to be there. She wanted desperately to help me. But now who is it that's blocked her from, excuse me, who is this blocking her from paying my bill? Who is it now that's blocking us from communicating? So, a person who has never had a street fight, a person whose record was clean last time I checked. In 19, I was going to do some, and in 15, I was going to do some Catholic charities. They had to also run a criminal background check. Everything come out squeaky clean. So they audited me. My work came out fine. What they did, charge me a fine, and they gonna say, the Mexican lady told me the only problem I have is doing business with my heart, but yet they want to steal my perfect heart reputation. So what's going on in Congress? Y'all ordered my books and that was fine. You fined me $6,000. I paid it off, no problem. You know why they fined me? They said that in cosmetology, there was a time when I first started off, before I did the whole franchise and the wages, the salary, because I pay my employee wages, $52,000 a year, $40,000 a year, like that. I paid them wages. But before, there was a time when I first got started that I was trying to commission things. So everybody know how commission work. You post up for work and you get commission off of what you do. Well, this lady from the Nevada Department of Labor, she told me that, let's just say this, let's use a scenario. She said that, say for instance, if we'll call her Lisa. Say for instance, if Lisa was at the shop for 8 hours and she only did a service for $100 and she got 50 and I got 50. So let's say it was a 50% commission. I got $50, she got $50. And let's say after those 8 hours she went home. Maybe she was there for 4 hours and she didn't do anything. But then towards the end of the day, she did that one head and she made some money and she went home after that. Well, what the, I think she was a Hispanic lady, the labor lady told me, she says, if she stayed there for 8 hours, and minimum wages, what hypothetically says, is 8 hours. So if she was working minimum wage when she was there for 8 hours, then her salary would have been $64. 8 times 8 is 64. She only made 50. But because she was there for those whole 8 hours, that other $14 you owe her. So she went back and on my records, and she claimed, now I didn't even pay Rosava commission, but Rosava got paid too, the other Mexican girl that works for me, she got paid. I didn't even pay her commission. But she went back and she audited my records, and everybody during that time, now you know, first of all, in a black beauty shop, for me to be having these type of records, I have an application on file for everybody who came through my way, or those I hired and those I didn't hire. I have their weekly pay. Most times I have a payroll company, so I have all of my stuff was so legit. Everything was perfect for her to even be able to go into my files to look through them. Everything was perfect. I had an in-house record keeper, and I meet with my CPA every week. So everything was so very, very thorough for her to even go into my records, because you know, beauty and barbershops don't keep records. Y'all know this, right? Okay. So for me, for her, it's a compliment to me that she was able to go through my records and everything was so thorough. That was a compliment to me. And I was so sure that there was nothing to hide, that she couldn't have came back with nothing, because most times I don't even touch money. I spend more than I make. So I don't even touch. I have a receptionist. They pay the receptionist after they get their hair done. And she's the bookkeeper. She's there 24/7 with us for as long as we're there. So they pay her. If any tips are to be taken out, most times at the end of the day, she gives us our tips. So that's how my operation is being ran. So that's how I run my operation. So again, this lady could use that commission stuff on me during that time that I was paying the commission. She said she came up with a fine. Her numbers was $6,000 and something dollars. Oh, I cried like a baby because you know when you're doing something right and perfect, you know. This is probably 2009, 2010. And it hurt your feelings because you know she was wrong. I knew she was wrong. But, okay, she knew she was wrong too. She even hugged me and say, only problem you have with somebody is you do business with your heart. I see where you're trying to help these girls. But you're going to have to, stop trying to have them in a manner in which I was helping them. Okay, I might. I take life is a learning experience for me. Sometimes our learning experience cost us, and I chop that up. Okay, so that's how y'all want me to do. That's how you do it. So she says you can pay them a salary, and you get extra hours out of it, just like any other business would, hourly or however. And so I started putting all of them on salary. And so she also said just let it go into collections. Let it go in collections. And then they'll call you and make arrangements. Just give them whatever you can. Whatever you want to pay them a month, she told me. And that's what I did. So I paid off that $6,000 probably within a year or two. Probably within a year or two. So I'm saying whites or those racist ones who feel like maybe my little $500,000 or up to $500,000 a year was too much income for a nigga, or whomever the little black persons or a Mexican person that they use to come up against me, that they hire to come up against me. Maybe I was too black, maybe my skin was too dark to be making up to, or could have the potential to make up to $500,000 a year. I had the potential to make that kind of money. And so it was only because somebody kept sabotaging my every effort. I felt like I'm on as Robert Kiyosaki would say, a rat race. Maybe that's what they were promoting, a rat race. Well, you're on the wheel, and you just running, and not going nowhere. Maybe that's where he drew his inspiration. And so that's why I felt like I'm on a rat race. I'm working, and not getting anywhere. Now, I threw that one in there because for the journalists and the media world, because they understand where I'm going with that one. They've been spying in on my life all my life and using what happens to me as inspiration for new books, news, media, movies, and all kinds of other stuff. That's what they use. So that's how they draw their inspiration. So if I'm just running, and not getting anywhere, that's called the rat race. So I wonder if Robert Kiyosaki used that. I'm just wondering. I'm not saying he did, but I'm wondering if that's where he got his inspiration from. I say to all y'all that's using illegal surveillance, spying in on people, and using it for an inspiration to create a movie. I say to all y'all should have put an end to that when YouTube came along, because all of our ideas and potential ideas and business ideas, sometimes young folks learn that it's best to give away to get a lot. So you don't need and spying in on nobody for no inspiration, because nowadays YouTube, people are just giving away information. But by them giving away inspiration and business ideas, have made them even a bigger icon, or make them more money, profit more. I sit there and watch YouTube sometimes when I'm bored for hours. I love y'all do-it-yourself projects. I think y'all some of the most creative people out there with all these do-it-yourself projects. I learned so much for y'all till it is unreal. My eyes about to buck out my head sometimes. I be so sleepy. I fall asleep watching y'all DIYs. So there's no need, Mexicans, blacks, or whites, or dream stealers and dream killers and brain initiative and scientists, for all you less than, but that's what you are. If you have tap into the bright minds, as Barack to dig up you a cookie, still famous Amos cookies, all this kind of shit. To all you people who can't think for yourselves, you need to tap into the brightest minds to come up with new innovations. I say to all you slow thinkers is what I call you. To all you slow thinkers, y'all should be on YouTube like I'm doing, because the brightest minds have more common sense than the law allows. The brightest minds are those who have made themselves a celebrity, a YouTube sensational celebrity, by giving away. It's kind of like what the Bible says. The more you give, the more you get. So they put out knowledge out there. They put out on how to do this and how to do that. And that's making them richer. That has afforded them a very lucrative lifestyle by giving. And I'm going to close on this one. I promise I'm going to close on this one. I often use, I don't know if it's a parable story or whatever, but I often use this one when explaining the difference between giving and receiving. This particular story. Now, you have two types of waters or running waters. You have one that is a pond. And in a pond, what you have, it's just water. It just sits there. And it's just full of debris, mold, and anything else you can think of that's corroded, dead, nasty, yucky. Because water just sits there. It doesn't flow in good water. It just sits there. And sometimes it evaporates, but it may turn into mud. It may turn into this, that, and that. It's just unused water. It's just sitting there. It's a pond. So then you have your rivers, your oceans, your streams. This here, these beds of water flows in freely. It goes out freely and it flows in freely, and it's beautiful. It's rich. You got your live corals up in there. Have beautiful fish swimming in there. Sometimes we can eat, go fishing, and it provides us food. And it's very rich. And so, but it gives away. It gives Mother Nature. It gives it away. That water is just given away. It's given away. But you can't be God-given. So not only is it given away, the more that particular stream or river, ocean or whatever, the more water it gives, the more water it gets, and the prettier it is. That's what my YouTube sensation is. The more you give, the more God bless. That's what the Bible says. The more you give away, the more it comes back. That's what the Bible says. But now you look at something that just sits there. It's not doing nothing. It's dirty and nasty, and it just collects, and it don't do nothing, and it has mold. And as we speak, I see one, and it has mold in there. It's just sitting there. It's not doing it. There's no life in there most times. That's what you do when you don't allow your gifts to flourish. Now, I'm not saying for all y'all to give away your ideas, because that'll be foolish. And it's also foolish for somebody to come in and just tap into the brightest minds and thinkers. It's unlawful and it's illegal for the slow thinkers, call themselves scientists or borderline schizophrenics. It is horrific of the slow thinkers to think it's okay and to tap into the minds of the brilliant. And then have the nerve to make you less than, have me walk in the streets, or make me a less. Now I got a Hummer that only has is still under factory warranty. 17 years old, still under factory warranty. That's because I don't go nowhere. I stay in my shop, remember, up to 24 hours, 17 years, and it just has a little bit over 100,000 miles. That's because I don't go anywhere. 17 years old for that truck. I pay, you know how much I pay for that truck a month? $1,000 a month for 6 years. And I got the title. I sent the title back to DMV to have it validated to say I'm the new owner of this truck and not the financial institution. Do you know these people? still, police officers in the city of North Las Vegas just took my damn truck anyways. Just like they just blatantly took my house, they just blatantly took the truck. I guess, I don't know what's going on. I guess I'm before my blessing come in, maybe I'm supposed to live homeless so they can make another biblical lie or something. I'm not sure what's happening. And so we're walking. Let's see. I'm done. We're walking. I'm gonna try to find a job. We passed by one beauty shop. Mind you, this is a rural area now, right? So I have to walk miles to get to the main intersection because it's a rural area. I did pass by a little bitty mom and pop shop. The sign says open, but of course nobody's there when I walk in, and nobody would never be there when I knock on the door. And there's never no cars there. There's never nobody in there doing hair. And when you call, they always packed, but there's never nobody in there. So I'm not sure if that's one of them invisible pop-up shops or what, but there's never nobody there. Now, I have worked and doing hair all of my entire life. I don't have to hustle for a client. My reputation say, hey, y'all, I'm in your town, it's somebody. They gonna come running. Not in this case. So that's how you know it's the feds, technological crime team, CIA torture team, and government. Plantation Creek, look, I'm in the area, this is called Plantation Creek. If that ain't by design, I don't even have no business being in Houston. I hate it here. I don't have no business being here. I live in Las Vegas. My residence is in Las Vegas, but all those in Las Vegas who claim to be protecting the residents of Las Vegas have let me down. Everybody in Las Vegas claims to be protecting, all the politicians, that's what they do. They protect the residents of their state, of their city, but yet I can't get not one of them to protect my rights. And I hold resident there for 21 years. 21 years. And I'm forced to be in a strange city. I don't know where I am or what street is coming up next. I'm just walking. My case is against Catherine. That's the plantation colony over there, Plantation Creek. And so this is her life. This is what the Mexican woman had. They planned for me to just walk the streets. But thank God it could have been, they really want me to walk the streets in Las Vegas. That's what she saw fit for my life in her dimension. This is what Catherine, my initial case was against. She saw fit that I walk the streets and be homeless in her dimension. So I beg Congress to give me a critical restoration, put me back in the dimension where I came from, get me out of all this pop-up shit around here that don't really exist. Nobody never have no customers over here. They just shops is there, but there's never no customers in it. And none of the businesses around here. Now, how can you just, see, I would be afraid that they did it to me, they'll do it to anybody. How can you just take a house when I have owned a home in my 20s? In my early 20s, I owned a home. I sold that home to get to Vegas. How can you just take something? The government ain't gave me a dime. I didn't open my business with grants and loans, or I never taken a dime from government. I pay for everything out of pocket. And I don't have one corrupt bone in my body. I have not done anything illegal in my body. They know it because they would have had me by now. So how can you just blatantly just take a person home? I don't care if it's this dimension, that dimension, the first government, the second government, or the first America or the second America. I don't care what goddamn America it is, because they playing this game, different dimensions, so you have different Americas. All of them started off in the union. Every last one of them came in on equal playing field in the union. So to develop a second Congress, you are a second America or a second government, you came in on equal playing fields on that first government. Otherwise, you wouldn't even have a first. You wouldn't even have the first constitution or the first state to even create a second one. So that first one you came in on equal playing field. I don't know nothing about y'all second and third and fourth. But I'm operating, I'm defending myself on the initial one, the very first one. So I'm trying to get Congress to, and the defendants, again, Hillary, Catherine Cortez of Nevada, Barack Obama, Trina. One of them They are alleged in the St. Louis Circuit Court that's ruled in my favor against them, where Judge Reno told me that I can go ahead and proceed with a summons and a complaint against all four of them. So now I'm trying to get them to give me my life back because they retaliated and blindfolded me and retaliated. So now I'm trying to tell them, have them to give me my house back, my truck back, my business back, my babies back, my family back, my lifestyle back, but they made me invisible. They made me non-existent to the world as a form of retaliation. And every member up in Congress is helping them. And that's why the international laws or the international courts and judges were supposed to step in. And technically, for a crime this hideous, the international courts were supposed to have declared war on this country. So now today, here again, I'll walk the streets looking for a job. My baby said, you don't find a job, she's gonna put me out. I'm looking for a job. Do you see anything around here? Look where I gotta walk. We still look. No buses run down the street. I'm in a rural area. All this over here. So she want me to find a job. So I'm gonna go walk and find a job. I just want y'all to see how stupid this sounds, okay? And how the defendants, they forced me to come and live with her against my will. And then now they want to force me to go find a job. Okay, well, let's go find a job. So I had a franchise, and I got the potential to make as much money as I want. But now they want me to go work at McDonald's. So let's go find a job. I have a home that still has $300,000 and some worth of equity. So that's the real reason for the different dimensions, because they're robbing people of their houses and stealing their equity out of their property. And that's what they're doing. So they stole too much money. I have a business that's assets is over $1 million or more. And then I have a home that has more than hundreds of thousands of assets in my home. So they come in with this intellectual property theft to steal motherfuckers' homes and take all your equity out their house. And now the whole block is filled with Mexicans. So this is these politicians, another scheme, and police officers, because the police officers threatened me about their house. They was the one in that jail, threatened me not to go near my house. So what do? You don't go near the motherfuckers. You don't give them the ammunition that they're looking for. You stay the fuck away from it. You don't get upset. You don't get hostile. You just go back and you continue to write. And then, but that's the way. They've been doing this game for so long because they did my brother the exact same way. But that's the way of them depriving you of your life. They force you to the law, knowing they control the law, knowing you ain't gonna get no help. So this is their way. And Catherine told me in 13 that she was going to deprive me of my life, take all my money, and waste my time. And that's exactly what she's doing. And that's what the law is allowing her to do. They ruled in my favor against Catherine. Judge Kissinger of Nevada did. She ruled in my favor against Catherine. Catherine's found guilty of murder, but yet she let this lady deprive me of my life. See, that part right there, I'm not understanding. It's that part, Kissinger. It's that part, Judge Kissinger. 10 years later, or nearly 10 years, and it'll be 24, it'll be 10 years, Kissinger. You allowed this lady to set out to do that you ruled, that she was trying to do. Kissinger said she was trying to cause you mental harm. What do you want? Somebody I ruled in your favor. But yet, you ain't did shit yet. 10 years almost later, she ain't did nothing yet. Nothing. So now I try to see if I can get those that know me, even those who were known to be maybe against me, maybe the Cheneys, Trina Giles, even some of those who was said to be against me. So now I have to appeal to some of them that knows me to get me out of Catherine's dimension. All those who were saying that it was Gwen and them that was doing all the dirt to me. So now I have to go back and appeal to those who once was like a sister, family to me, who was said to be doing all of this to me. So now I got to go back and appeal to them then, since they want to say they got all power, that they rule America. So now I'm going to go back and appeal to them, see if I can get some help, because I reached out to a friend of mine who works for the governor, Carolyn Goodman, Kathy Gibson. I reached out to her. I'm still waiting on Kathy. Me and Kathy got dialogue. over 20, 30 emails, a dialogue. She's a personal assistant to the governor, Carolyn Goodman, in Las Vegas. I reached out to her. I'm waiting on Kathy Gibson to contact me back. And that was over a month, 2 months or so ago. I'm waiting on these people to do their job. This is a best friend and a client, not a best friend, but a good friend and a client for more than 10 years every Friday. Every Friday, 10 years, more than 10 years. So I'm waiting on Kathy Gibson. Marilyn, Carolyn Goodman took her under her wing, probably for this reason. So I'm waiting on Kathy Gibson Thomas to get back in touch with me. I contacted Roxanne McCoy of the NAACP president. I'm waiting on her to get back in touch with me. I did get an auto response the minute I reached her, and it was not an auto as in a pre-auto message. It was a personal one, and she says, "Why did you send me this?" I said, well, this is in the ACP. I took that as that was personal because her and I was friends also. We traveled together on trips together also. So when she said, why are you sending that to me? I'm thinking that was a little personal. But yet she is the president of the NAACP. She knows about my house because it was her paperwork. She had before she was a president of the NAACP, she had ProServe Mortgage Company. ProServe Mortgage Company in 2004. I went there. They did help me do some work on my mortgage company then, but it was her paperwork that is being now used to defraud me out the house. It was her paperwork. So for her to say, why did you contact me? Hello, sweetie, have you forgotten? So it was her initial paperwork that is possibly causing me these problems. So I'm waiting on you, Roxanne McCoy, to straighten up her paperwork. And you are the president of the NAACP, and it is Blue them police officers who claim in my house, and the Mexicans who claim in my house. So your job, you're not supposed to be helping the police officers. You're supposed to be trying to get me back my house. You're not supposed to be helping the politicians as an NAACP president. You're supposed to be trying to help me get my house back and my intellectual property back from the politicians and from the police officers. That's why I'm contacting you. But as you can see, all these organizations work together as one. Now, these were my personal friends, so I can say that because at one time, we all hung out together, shopping together, eating together, all that kind of stuff. So the black politicians, why I stress so much emphasis on them is because they know me from conversational, and they know me on a first name basis. They know me as a friend. They know me as an ex-friend. They know me. So all of them, I'm thinking maybe perhaps band together to try to get me out when I kind of ease my way out of their lives. And I was the newest comer out of all of them to the city. So perhaps my success shamed some of them, and they wasn't doing as much as I have done. Roxanne, that hit rock bottom. Gwen business not making much as mine. I'm on television every day. Did I tell y'all that? So I'm on television every day because I'm promoting my commercials every day from 8 till about up to 14, almost 15. I'm promoting myself as a motivational speaker 2010, 2012, in which people paid to come hear me speak. I can go on and on about me, but maybe that's what it was. I was so busy doing me and they so busy spying in and watching me until they lost themselves in me. So they watching me come up just to cut the legs off so I can fall down. But perhaps maybe if they was not watching me come up and doing them, not spying on me, but rather doing them, they too could have made some, they too could have exalted themselves in the way that I have raised my business from scratch, being new to their city. But their downfall was they paid too much attention, spying in on me, illegal, listening and eavesdropping in on me, that they forgot to do them. All the while, I'm not knowing they listening or